dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom.
My dear students, today in Standard 6th Geography, we'll be learning the topic temperature. Our last lesson in Geography was weather and climate. In that, we studied the concept of weather and climate and also the difference between the weather and climate. Now in this topic we are going to talk about temperature, and here on the screen as you can see the pictures where you can easily understand that these pictures are nothing but the things which are showing the temperature. For example, this cup of a tea or coffee, and this, by this we can understand the temperature. Here also the boiling water temperature, here also, and in this also. So all these things are related with the temperature, and in our daily routine or in our daily things we are familiar with the concept of temperature. Normally जो नहाने के लिए हम पानी यूज़ करते हैं या फिर टी कॉफ़ी जो भी हम लेते हैं या फिर खाना या फिर बॉइलिंग वाटर, ये सारी चीज़ें हमारी रोज़ की ज़िंदगी में आती है जिससे हमें पता चलता है कि देयर इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ हैविंग टेम्परेचर, जिसमें हम हाथ नहीं डाल सकते. अगर हाथ डालेंगे तो हमारा हाथ जल जाएगा. सो व्हाट इज़ एग्जैक्टली द टेम्परेचर इज़, उसे कैसे नापते हैं, हाउ टू मेजर टेम्परेचर, उसे मेजर करने की कौन सी चीज़ है, किससे हम उसे मेजर करते हैं. ऑल दिस थिंग्स वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी इन दिस टॉपिक, एंड फॉर दिस there is an activity which is given for you people, figure 5.1 in our textbook, which you can see on the screen. What you have to do here to understand the concept of temperature: take a torchlight and keep it stable at one place. Take two large paper sheets large enough to accommodate its entire beam and paste the papers on two flat boards. Here you can see this one. Now hold the board perpendicular to the beam as it is in the 5.1a, which is perpendicular to the beam. Draw the outline of the area lit up by the beam and name the paper A. Then now next thing, use the other paper, hold it in such a way that it makes an angle of 120 degree with the beam here in figure 5.1b, and draw the outline of the area occupied by the beam. Now here what we have to do, name that paper B, and now observe both the papers A and B. Now by observing these papers, questions are there. On which paper does the beam occupy a larger area? On which paper is the area smaller? Then again what you have to do, now change the angle between the beam of light and the paper. Observe the changes that occur in the area occupied by the beam of light. And then the next thing again, what is the relation between the angle of the paper and the area occupied by the beam? Now to do this, you people go through the torchlight and the paper sheets and then record your observations. But by this, one thing which we understand is very important, that sun rays coming towards the earth travel in straight lines. Sun rays coming towards the earth travel in straight lines. Here you can see. And we know the earth is spherical in shape. So these are not perpendicular to all the parts of the Earth's surface. For example, if we talk about this, not exactly perpendicular, though they are in straight line, and it is because of the shape of the Earth. So in some parts they are perpendicular, whereas in other parts they are slanting. And because of this, what happens? The perpendicular rays occupy less area. Perpendicular rays occupy less area. The part where the rays occupy lesser area receives bright sunshine. You can see here, bright sunshine and greater heat. Hence the surface there gets heated more and the air becomes hotter. Now this is all about the straight or the perpendicular rays. What about the slant rays? Slant rays occupy a larger area. Here in the figure B, in this area sunlight appears less bright and there is less heat, and hence the surface here gets less heated and the air too is less hot. Now to study this in detail, one more thing, you can see here sun, earth and the sun rays. Now here you can easily understand if you observe this figure very carefully that the slant rays occupy a larger area and sunlight appears less bright and there is less heat, though it is larger, क्योंकि concentrate नहीं हो रहा है. In short, यहाँ पे देखो sun rays falling on the earth are straight and parallel to each other. Here you can see straight, 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 straight and parallel. However, we have seen that due to the spherical shape, not exactly the circular. As we know, earth का shape हमें पता है कि exactly circular नहीं है, which is spherical. So due to the spherical shape of the earth and the resultant curvature of the surface, they occupy a larger or lesser area, and this leads to unequal distribution of heat. कहाँ पर ज़्यादा heat मिल रही है तो कहीं पर कम heat मिल रही है, and this is all because of the unequal distribution. And why this unequal distribution is there? It is because of the spherical shape of the earth. So the heat received resulting in decreasing temperature from the equator to the north and south poles. Here south pole, north pole and the equator. So based on the distribution of temperature, the earth can be divided into torrid, temperate and frigid zones, or we can say it as tropical, temperate and polar regions. Observe the figure which is given in our textbook 5.3 thermal zones. In that, this one is the equator, then the frigid zone or polar regions, temperate zone, here again with the help of figures you can exactly or easily understand this. Torrid zone, temperate zone, frigid zone. And by this red color we can understand the heat or the hotness of that particular place. So in tropics it is very hot, in temperate zone it is warm, and in polar zone it is cold. Climate zones, polar zones, tropical zones, and temperate zones. Always try to understand all these things with the help of figures so that it is very easy to understand, easy to remind, and easy to revise also. याद रखने के लिए भी आसान होता है, समझने के लिए भी आसान होता है, और जब हम एग्ज़ाम के लिए जाने वाले होते हैं तो रिवीजन के लिए जब कम टाइम होता है तो वो फिगर देख के हमें पूरी कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आती है. Now though latitude is the main factor, there are other factors also which influence the distribution of temperature. The effects are limited to a particular region, but there are factors, and these factors are nearness to the sea, continentality, height above the mean sea level, and physical setup of a region are factors that lead to diversity in the climate of different regions. Other than these factors like cloud cover, winds, vegetation cover, urbanization, industrialization, etc. are also influence the local climate. Now here 100% solar energy in the figure you can see, but here earth absorbs 51% only. One more activity to understand the concept of temperature, and it is about the heating and cooling water. So in this, what you have to do, this one is very easy and you can easily do at home also. Take two pots of the same size and fill them with water equally. 1, 2. At sunrise, keep one of the pots inside the house and the other one outside. एक को घर में रखना है, एक को बाहर रखना है. See that it remains in the sun all the time as shown in figure 5.4b. जैसे यहाँ पर दिखा है, पूरा टाइम उसे sun में ही रखना है. In the afternoon, walk barefoot on the floor inside the house and feel the temperature of the floor. Feel the temperature of the water in the pot inside. दो चीज़ें करना है, एक तो फ्लोर पे घूमना है बिना चप्पल पहने, और दूसरा वो जो पानी हमने रखा है उसका टेम्परेचर चेक करना है. Now do this again around 7 in the evening. Then note your observations again. And now you can remove the pots and then discuss it with your friends. Now by this, what we observe or what we understand, you must have realized that the land cools down earlier than the water. ज़मीन जो होती है वो जल्दी ठंडी हो जाती है, टेम्परेचर उसका कम हो जाता है. The water kept outside in the sun is still a little warm. And due to this difference in the heating and cooling of land and water, the air over the land gets heated faster and also becomes cooler rapidly. दो चीज़ें हैं, एक तो वो हीट भी जल्दी हो जाती है, उसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ जाता है, लेकिन कूल भी उसी स्पीड में होती है. The air or the water gets heated slowly and also loses the heat in a slower manner as compared to land. In the coastal areas, because of the heating of seawater, water vapor gets mixed in the air and this water vapor holds the heat in the air. As a result, the air in the coastal areas remains moist and warm. So here also in the coastal areas as compared to the continental areas, the temperature of air is lower during the day but warmer at night. Contrary to this, the temperature of air in the continental areas is higher during daytime and lower at night. क्योंकि वो जितना जल्दी टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है उतना जल्दी कम भी होता है. बट इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट द वाटर, तो वहाँ पे वो स्लोली हीट होता है और उतना ही स्लोली उसकी हीट कम होती है. So here you can see on the continental zone, low evaporation, no transmission, no mobility, low specific heat, land heats up faster and to higher temperature than water. And what about water? High evaporation, some transmission, high mobility, high specific heat. So water heats up less quickly and to lower temperature than land. Now the next thing, in the coastal areas, because of the heating of seawater, water vapor gets mixed in the air. This water vapor holds the heat in the air, and because of this, the air in the coastal areas remain moist and warm. So conditions in the continental areas are the opposite. As water vapor is absent, the air remains dry, and this leads to sharp differences in the day and night temperatures. So the difference in the maximum and minimum temperatures of day is called diurnal range of temperature. This is what is you have to keep in mind. Then the next thing, daily temperature range. The greatest daily temperature variation occurs at the Earth's surface. Earth's surface efficiently absorbs solar energy and efficiently radiates infrared energy, creating a large diurnal temperature range, which is maximum or minimum in the lower atmosphere, and moisture can affect the diurnal temperature range. Here you can see 98th floor building and the temperatures. So in short, the difference in the day and night temperatures is less in the coastal areas and more in continental. For example, Mumbai temperatures are even, but at Nagpur they vary a lot. So it depends on the things like nearness to the sea, and if we talk about the Mumbai, it is near to the sea, and if we talk about the Nagpur, it's all about the continentality, height above the mean sea level and physical setup. Now one more thing, if we talk about Nagpur and Mumbai, then urbanization and industrialization. In the coastal region of Konkan, the range of temperature is less, but in Vidarbha, the range of temperature is found to be higher, and therefore coastal areas have an equable climate, whereas in continental areas the climate is extreme. Again, for example, the climate of Mumbai is equable, whereas in continental locations like Nagpur, it is extreme. And the difference in the mean temperatures of summer, the difference in the mean temperatures of summer and winter is called annual range of temperature. अगर हमें एनुअल रेंज ऑफ टेम्परेचर निकालना है पूरे साल का, तो जो मीन टेम्परेचर है समर में उसे लिया जाता है और विंटर में उसे लिया जाता है. दोनों का डिफरेंस जो आता है दैट इज़ द एनुअल रेंज ऑफ टेम्परेचर. हियर यू कैन सी द मैप ऑफ इंडिया वेयर एनुअल टेम्परेचर you can see average annual temperature in degree Celsius. So if you talk about Maharashtra especially, then you can see the color, and by that you can understand it is above 27.5. and here, which is the area near to sea, it is about 20.0 to 22.5. Calculating temperatures. The daily temperature range is the difference between the maximum and minimum temperatures recorded in a day. Simple thing. If we calculate daily temperature range, then what we have to do? Daily temperature range is equal to daily maximum temperature. उस particular दिन का higher temperature हमें लेना है and minus daily minimum temperature. By this we will get daily temperature range. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.